Hey everybody, it's Derek with the Swarm here, bringing you the final week of the regular season matchup of Champions War League. In this one, we took on War and Glory. Oddly enough, going into the playoffs, we will be facing War and Glory next week. So, this is an overall, I think, probably the most complete performance this season for us. So, definitely a lot of momentum going into the playoffs. Like, we had 5 11s, we cleared them in 6 hits. The 9s hit at like 90%, and we got 7 10v10s. It's kind of due to the nature of how other people stepped up this war and did some things. We won't see all the 10v10s. I kind of want to just showcase some other players who are here and kind of allow us to succeed very high, like well at the 10v10 game. So first up, one of those people who are really helping us out, obviously, is Scotty, who has done just a fantastic job clearing the 11 bases. Usually gets like a 4-pack every war, so just absolutely solid. And this was no exception. Got a very high percent on this one, 68%. And it kind of looks like when it's starting off that it's going to be kind of issues. He does go ahead, get a Valk down to take out that Tesla. Wow. Tough one, apparently. Healers kind of switch over, but either way, then the Queen's going to walk into this upper section and just have access to a ton of percent and a ton of defenses. Just kind of taking everything out. And then just down the sides, sending in loons while Baby Drag's tanking to go ahead and take out more defenses, which is just going to continue to help the Baby Drag take out more percent, which is awesome. So already at like 30% with the bulk of his kill squad. Then it goes down and finally drops that last Baby Dragon. Able to pick up the couple more free percent down there. Then the Queen does get into air defense range, but takes out a healer. Goes ahead and takes a step forward and gets out of that. Very, very nicely done. In come a bunch of giants. Wall breakers all down to just kind of try and open everything up. Fortunately, there weren't more wall breakers, but the arch tower kind of being up caused some extra ones to have to be in there. I like the giants. It was really a cool move since there's the kind of soak up Inferno Tower streams. It was the goal. Fortunately, a lot of them didn't make it through there. Down goes that Rage, a heal spell for the kill squad. Goes ahead and freezes the Inferno Tower before anything gets in range. Just kind of allows that kill squad to stay at full health. And now at this point, got the Town Hall already at 60%, just clearing off the rest of whatever kill squad's going to get here. Picking up a last couple little buildings, just there the pups, and take everything out. The healers are dying. The Queen doesn't have a whole lot to stop her, and there it is. The 68%, absolutely solid though. Had those little skeletons not been outside, would have got those army camps too, so would have had like a 70%. Pretty incredible. The other person I wanted to just, like I said, these are pretty high percentage, so I want to show them off. Kind of do a little bit different of a recap. Normally all the 10v10 people get all the props, but with it being the final war of the season, how well the 10v11 group performed and the 9v9, I want to show some of their attacks. Kind of give them the kudos that allows the 10v10 group to be one of the best in the league. Just sheer number of attacks, we get plenty of scouts, all these things that make it continually better. So once again, JD's going. Once again, we'll have a Queen walk. JD will just walk his Queen on down here towards 9 o'clock. Getting an amount of percent, kind of setting a funnel as well, which also really nice. These guys kind of had like just some of these walkable compartments that allowed our very good 10v11 group to exploit and sure that it's just one of those things to have when you do the 10v11 so well, and especially when you get these high percentages, you just are in the driver's seat. Like if it comes down to any kind of ties, you have the tiebreakers. That's always awesome. So the queen starts to kind of get in trouble, has to go ahead and pop that ability. Did drop a rage for her, and then she gets over there, takes out a cannon, got out of that expo range, and Archer Tower's being tanked by the golem. So she gets right back up to full health. Tesla does go ahead and pop, brings everything to the center, and wall breakers in to open everything up. And this is really what the Queen Walk did a nice job at, is being able to funnel those second level buildings, which worked just perfectly. Everything's going right on in. Sends a Valken. Its goal is to just kind of pop any traps that may be in front of them. CC does come out, not a Hound CC, which is obviously kind of weird. Not something you see all the time. Goes ahead and puts that poison spell down on them. The bowler bounces are just obliterating that core, well over 50% already, and just so many bowlers up. Goes ahead and gets the bounces, almost gets enough to take that Inferno Tower out. With the being on the far side would have been cool. There, the Queen with that Inferno Tower on her does take out the Inferno Tower, but that's going to be it. And then finally that bowler does go ahead and take out that mortar, just to end up dying, and then just waiting on the healers to die to the eagle, and that'll be it. Either way, 67%, awesome job, JD. Might have had a 4-pack, I believe it did. I'm not entirely sure. Like I said, we'll take a look at kind of some of the cooler, or maybe not all the cooler ones per se, but the stuff you don't see all the time. And kind of wanted to showcase with the 10v10, since I didn't want to have like a 20 attack video, which this probably should have been. I wanted to just showcase kind of some of the people who maybe aren't on all the time, or some of the people who had like just really cool plans and really cool attacks, things you don't see all the time. So we'll see a kind of a mix of that. So this was a nice one that Evan had, this queen charge that went, gonna come right up into that kind of isolated expo compartment. Not something you typically see at Town Hall 10. Sometimes you see that at Town Hall 9, but this is a cool one. Like I said, we had to do quite a few charges on these bases. Certainly the simpler things like Suicide Heroes were not as common, as they defended that very well. I think there was only like one of our 7 triples that did something like that. And then there the Queen's going to, well, the Queen will just keep on walking, taking out all the defenses. Going in, once that expo's gone, she's kind of well protected, and then she'll start tanking the expo and the Archer Tower. In come the wall breakers, a whole crap ton of them, just to get through that expo. But now the Queen has taken out both the Archer Towers, so by the time she gets onto the expo, it's kind of nothing, just not enough damage with one of them. I love this funnel. He just got so much free percent outside with these minions. And anytime you can get your cleanup going like that, obviously going to be very, very valuable. And you can see this attack does take quite a lot of time to do. Go ahead and pop that Queen ability. Take out the Inferno Tower and air defense, and then go ahead and start the Slalo. King comes in, beats through a wall, takes out the Queen, and then just Laloing this base. Love the haste spell placement, very, very nice. The rage fell down over the Inferno Tower. Everything's nicely timed because those loons are close to dying, the ones that went to the Inferno Tower. They just get that taken care of. As one final rage spell, needs to just get through that Archer Tower and that air defense. And goes ahead, gets that down. The loons start dropping, but they take down the air defense almost immediately. Just clearing up the rest of this base. Absolutely, just super cool attack, Evan. Absolutely great plan. Not sure came up with the plan, but he executed it wonderfully. Then once again, just next one we'll take a look at are that the 10v11 got cleared so quickly. We have Boss. He had a 10v10 6-pack, and he's normally one of the guys who does like strictly 10v11. So great job to you, obviously. Wonderful performance. And then this was kind of just something you don't see a lot. So he had this in like Mass Minor raid. Both raids you don't really see a whole lot. I thought this one was really cool because it took a couple hits and it was just fun to watch. And he just didn't kind of got to swag some spells with just how they were placed. So in come the bowlers, just kind of pinching down the funnel, so everything's going into that first Inferno Tower and into the core. It's a non-hound CC, which that's why this work. But so all these bowlers, like, he has a whole bunch of them that are really low health, like freezing. Didn't even freeze the Inferno Tower. They're like not using this heal spell, though. Like that, all these bowlers, like a lot of them are at low health. Finally goes ahead and uses that heal spell, and then comes in with some hogs on that backside or bottom side there, just to take out some defenses. And as the queen gets on the Inferno Tower and some other things, well, that's kind of the end of this base. She's up tanking. Well, the king's up tanking, and she's up just kind of gutting this base. Taking out the Wizard Tower, and then she gets like on these high-value hog, anti-hog defenses with the Bomb Tower and the Wizard Tower, and all these things that would have been a question at the end. And then finishes up. It's 3 stars. Kind of a interesting one, and like maybe something you would have seen, I don't know, like a year or so ago. So taking what the base will. So great job, boss. Like absolutely killed it. And we're gonna go down Noob. Another just kind of like cool attack. A queen walk into Bowie. But this one is like the queen can come down on one side and get like a whole bunch of defenses. So that happens, and then some of the just sets up a nice funnel. Some of the bowlers and witches will go up to the top and take care of the other outside stuff. Then down comes the golem. It's just like a really nice kind of progression of everything here. Once again, something you don't see a whole lot. So down goes the first jump spell. Everything's going right into that first Inferno Tower. Rage spell comes down, poison on the CC. And just typical stuff. And then the heal spell coming out of the first Inferno Tower, rage spell, and a skeleton spell just for... Wasn't going to need the poison, so something to kind of add some extra troop, add some extra firepower, take attacks off. The core is basically gutted, but now at this point it's kind of just petering out a little bit. The king goes ahead and pops his ability, beating through a wall. The queen's working her way up, continuing to take out defenses on the outside, which is nice. Obviously impactful. And then really this couple of witches that are up, spawning skeletons that distract this cannon, allows the outside witch to go ahead and take it out. And the queen finally makes her way all around the top of the base, clears up the rest, gets a wizard tower, and that's really all that left. The kind of swags that queen ability, so it was just a wonderful attack here. Absolutely overpowered in this base, so another great job, Cube. And finally, we'll take a look. I was kind of like, I wasn't going to put GCH in, because trying to get some of these other people in, but I remembered he did this attack, and I was like, oh yeah, I just have to. It's just way too cool of an attack not to. This was our first 10v10 on the first night. We took quite a few hits too. He like, I think all his accounts did a hit on this base to go ahead and get it taken care of. But I just love it. This kind of queen charges into these bases. These are kind of bases I think a lot of people see, where all the air defenses are on one side and just may not know what to do or anything like that. And this was just a wonderful plan. So not a Hound CC, which obviously allowed this charge to be way more effective. Cheer like things not taking as long. Don't have to deal with not under fire of both the Expos while you beat through a Hound, which just takes forever. Goes ahead and drops that second rage spell, and now the queen is struggling with the raged healers, but as she takes out a couple of those Expos, kind of over. King's down to tank that wizard tower. Unfortunately, some wall breakers go in right to the giant bomb. Dude that was there, a couple of other, the previous, their attempt before this, did not trigger that one. They kind of took a little bit different of a path. Thought this wall piece would kind of prevent them from getting there. In comes, I love it, just says that last wall breaker, rages it, just open, or I guess there were two, but rages it to go get that Inferno Tower. Awesomely done. And to go get that queen. Air Skellies start going down, hasting the loons into the first Inferno Tower and the bottom air defense. Minions already out right behind it, getting that cleanup going. Rage spell right over the fourish area, and the pups go ahead and clean up the queen. His queen does do a little bit of tanking for that Tesla, which is kind of nice. Allows the pups to get that taken care of. Haste spell through the last two air defenses, and that'll be all she wrote. Tons of cleanup going on. Had that down nice and early, and just really cool. Like I said, not an attack style you're seeing a whole lot of, I guess. You know, charges are definitely not the current meta. So then the other couple ones, like I said, our 9s did really good, but we'll just take a look at a couple. First up is Sophie here, and did like a super cool charge that I was gushing all over when I saw it. So we're gonna watch it. So we'll go ahead, and it's kind of interesting just how this ended up working. I no idea if this, like, how it, to see like where this queen ends up going. I have no idea if that was planned. I can't imagine it was, but it was just so. Down comes the king to clear out some trash, kind of force the queen. Definitely wanted to force the queen in, so I'm guessing what kind of probably was just to come in to the little moat area. But it was just really cool to walk around the corner of a base, into the moat, take out the CC, go get the queen. I think there's also a couple Teslas that are in this moat. Pops that queen ability to get through the CC. Skeletons from the witch are obviously very annoying, but they all kind of die off with that poison spell. And down goes the next rage, just to take care of the. It'll be to take care of the queen here and get through a couple of these defenses. Then really you can see like there's not that much, and even it's kind of incredible not even starting the hogs where you kind of think like over down by 6 and maybe working up. These are all coming right at the top, kind of the area the queens go into. So it's just like a really weird way to hit this base. Nonetheless, so I mean I liked it. Upset skeleton spell to distract a couple defenses. Then comes in with a few more hogs on the back end. Goes ahead and heals the hogs through that bomb tower. And I mean, just way too many hogs. Queen's up, getting tons and tons of value. And from here, the wizards are out, hogs are out. I mean, it's all just over, but it's all over. But the crying here just did a wonderful, wonderful attack. I really liked the charge. It was cool to see. I kind of, as I was picking these out, I was like, oh, I'll just a lot of queen walks and queen charges throughout these bases, but they're cool and they're not something you see like all the time, especially like at 9 where you're mostly seeing like big kill squad attacks. Once again, another charge here from Bass that I liked, so we'll go ahead, watch it. Down comes Baby Drag, a couple loons to go take out that Archer Tower. Wizard comes down to really help set that funnel, and from there, Archer Tower goes down. Yeah, I think that's I mean, this has got to be. I can't imagine R9's had a better performance at any point in this season prior to this, like better than what they did this war. Because I think when the 9s were cleared, it was like, or like this, like the healers switch off and the queen finally gets in range and like, oh, okay, well now I'll start healing you. But so when it was all said and done, we had like a 90% hit rate, which. There's something like maybe 20 Town Hall 9s, probably a little like around that range. There might have been, I don't know what the exact breakdown was, I didn't write that down. I'm kind of just doing this from memory for this part right now. But I think that is essentially saying like we had like 2 fails over 20 bases, which would have meant like 18 were fresh hit or like crazy. So, like, just an absolutely great job. The 9s killed it. I know a couple weeks ago, definitely not so on form, and that has completely changed over the last few weeks. So in comes a Lalo anyways on Bass's attack. Haste spell through those little, kind of Pseudo Tesla farm, hanging up out there. The Queen is going ahead and just tanking that X-Bow, which is obviously really, really nice. Does have that next haste spell to just kind of get through those 2 wizard towers. Those are kind of the last real threats. Just the amount of damage they can put out on all those loons. And the red bomb goes ahead and takes out a whole bunch. In comes those last few loons, just taking everything out. 2 archer towers, not going to be enough to stop like the 6 or 5 or 7 loons that's there. Finally goes down to that mortar, but that's not going to matter. Now that's just all on cleanup. Plenty of pups, plenty of minions. Queen's still up. But did an excellent job. I really love the charge here. The kind of the freak out that must have happened with the healers. Obviously, a great job to everybody. Swarm, we're obviously happy to finish the regular season at 11-0. War and Glory will be the 8th seed in the playoffs, so we will be facing them in the first round. So kind of interesting. We go right back at it next week. We don't have any. It'll probably be. I'm guessing it'll be a very similar breakdown to what we currently have or had this war. But either way, regardless of whatever happens, there'll be a recap for that coming out shortly when that's done. Until then, guys, see you.